Hello. So today, right now, we're gonna talk about how their new talking point is uh, that my brain savant should not get freed because of the fact that people of my religion have done bad things. I find this highly ironic, and I'll explain exactly why. But before we get started, obviously, we have to talk about Kelly from law enforcement, because Kelly from law enforcement is basically a gold digger who just won't let me go. So she's only been doing this since June 7th. Before then, it was totally fine. There was no James Bond mission that was going on before then. After June 7th, after a consecutive brain savant test result coming out for basically May 10th, she has gone crazy, basically stroking my penis. Then the next day, it was just like she would touch my tongue right over there and then make my rectum feel wet, and then she would do all kinds of stuff that I cannot talk about over the phone on video. Anyways, and then after that, I literally found out when the June 24th brain savant test results came out, just from how she was stroking my penis right when it came out, in 14 days instead of 21, which I could not have known about unless if she really did start stroking my penis and doing all of those things, due to which I found out that definitely just came out right now, the brain savant test. And on July 18th, only a few days ago, 6 days ago, I've already predicted that she would do this and go crazy over me right now, which she literally has. So we have to talk about what her issue is and how like she is really just running after me, and just the fact that it is wrong. It's not something that should go on at a workplace, and that she has to stop doing this. Just because, and this is no James Bond mission she's going on. We know this for a fact because it always starts with a brain savant test result coming out, and after this was tested on June 24th. These ears being released. So what basically that meant was my brain savant powers as is when ear drugging is lowered, like how it was tested for 6 hours on August 9, 2022. It's already superhuman as it is, but when the ears are let go of, like how it was tested on June 24th, 2026, just last month, then it becomes even more exponentially more powerful. And as time goes on, it gets more and more powerful, which we found out on November 14th, 2025. The test result for that when it came out on December 10th, 2025, for the November 14 test. So basically, the thing about it is just the fact that, this has to stop. This is nothing that you're supposed to do at a workplace where you're not supposed to be finding a husband for yourself. It's basically a very gold digger move to be making, especially considering the fact that I knew for a fact that they overanalyzed June 24th. They weren't going to do a test on that in the first place, mainly due to the fact that they do not like looking at reality. But ended up doing so anyways. They tested out June 24th, my ears, and how much increase in power it would be if they unlocked it, which is locked right now. So you can see on April 22nd, these ears were all the way in the back of my head. And so right now it's locked. So June 24th, last month, they unlocked it to try to see how much my powers would increase. They found out that it increases exponentially, substantially. Sorry, it increases substantially. And so it already is superhuman as it is when air drugging is lowered, and so when the ears are unlocked, it becomes even more powerful. So basically, what ended up happening was it was overanalyzed due to basically them getting rejected by these girls over and over again. I've shown you outside of my balcony. These people do not go past my road due to how humiliated they are. I could literally show you right now if you want cars that would be going by over here, like this way or that way, but they would not go on my lane only due to how humiliated they are, from the police being called on Junaid every single day or him being threatened to do so. And by now he probably has lost his job again, like how he does every year, and then he's probably going to make up another CEO story. Well, probably not, since last time he got caught making up stories. So right now, basically, the thing about it is just the fact that they're too humiliated. They were too humiliated, so much so that literally right now they cannot pass their cars near my street, like over here. If I show you outside my balcony, like put my phone over there, they only go this way or that way. They do not go past my balcony, only due to how humiliated they are from the police being called on Junaid every single day or him being threatened to do so. So basically, June 24th was tested, and they found out that my Brain Savant test results obviously show that my Brain Savant powers increase exponentially when my ears are unlocked. Like how it was on April 22nd, 2025, these ears were all the way on the back of my head, and my brain on the inside, instead of being like this, it was like this, and it was just like zing, 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 zing. It was extremely powerful, way more than normal human beings can ever imagine having these kinds of powers. And so basically, what happened was on June 24th, 2026, last month, they tested it out and they found out that my powers increase if my ears are unlocked. And so what ended up happening was they took initial test results out in 14 days on July 8th, which I know because Kelly started stroking my penis very aggressively on July 8th. And so, yeah. So, but what ended up happening was, due to the police being called on Jeanette like literally every single day, what ended up happening was they were just like, we got to take away his powers, do a gamble over doing a over analyzing of the June 24th test, because that's the only option we have. If we could get any result saying that his powers do not increase that much, if his ears are unlocked, then we could get the girls off of him. So basically they did that, and then July 18, right before July 18, it was like the results came out and just proved what I was saying all along, that my powers, if you take away air drugging, like how we saw for 6 hours on August 9, 2022, are hundreds of times more powerful than normal human beings can ever imagine having in terms of instantaneous photographic memory, focusing, and innovation. Focusing means two things. Basically, I can use it non-stop from morning till night for as long as I want without needing a single second's break. And the other thing it means is it has robot-like effects. And then the other thing is, when my ears are unlocked, like how we saw on April 22nd, 2025, then it becomes like thousands of times more powerful, becomes even more substantially more powerful than how it was before. And we saw on November 14th that despite them locking it up completely on July 1st, 2023, it becomes more powerful over time exponentially. So now what we had was they gambled over doing the test. First time they ever gambled. Till now, no one was gambling. Artificial intelligence had already told them from before that powers increase due to ears being unlocked, but they had to gamble over it, hopefully hoping that since it was the ears were only unlocked slightly, the results would show that there was only a slight increase in power. Well, that's not what happened. They overanalyzed the Brain Savant test for June 24th, and it showed that my powers increased substantially, due to which even Ibrahim the Greedy Framer started asking me to start trying to run a Ponzi scheme on me on July 18 and trying to get me to sign a prenup agreement with his ugly sister, who's way too young for me, only due to wanting to get money for his drug addiction problem, for which he ends up in the emergency room overdosing once a week, every single week. So basically, yeah, I already knew on July 18, I made a video literally 6 days ago telling everyone that Kelly is about to go crazy due to this Brain Savant test being overanalyzed, mainly because it was a big deal. If this Brain Savant test, only law enforcement people know this, and some people know this. This Brain Savant test result basically proved that air drugging being taken out, it already gives me superhuman powers, but that my ears being unlocked makes it substantially, even more exponentially more powerful, thousands of times more powerful than normal human beings could ever imagine having, due to which I knew that she was going to make a big deal about it and run after me like a psycho. The July 18, I knew that this had been done, mainly due to the fact that Ibrahim was trying to run a Ponzi scheme on me, trying to get me to marry his sister on July 18, when he knows for a fact his sister is really ugly. I'm not interested in her. She's way too young for me, and he's still trying it like a Ponzi scheme to try to get me to sign a prenup agreement, knowing that it was his fourth time lying, where they would literally just do the exact same thing that law enforcement did in 2023, where with the wedding incident, take one of their own BFFs like Assad, who would commit the wedding crime, put my name in there, and then try to frame me for it. The only difference is right now they were using Ibrahim the Greedy Framer, despite his mother, his envious mother, before November 20th, 2025, confessing to the government informant as the first thing she was asked by the government informant, do you have anything against Hassan? Anything real? We need that. That we can fabricate. That we can exaggerate. That'll be a lot better. And Ibrahim's envious mother said right there and then, she said, I have nothing on Hassan that we can use. We're going to have to fabricate and exaggerate what the fabrication is. That was the first question the government informant asked her, mainly because that's what the government wanted to know, not because that's what is easier or better to fabricate and exaggerate. That's what the government wanted to know. The government was involved. And if you play with their national security, they will find out exactly what is going on, what your motives are. They will get to the bottom of everything. These people have not been born yesterday. I don't know what these fabricators, like my dad, the greedy Famer, and his Famer sisters think. The government was not born yesterday. They've had to deal with fabricators and criminal fabricators for years and decades. Okay, they have literally entire textbooks on this stuff. They have entire experts on this stuff. They're not gonna let someone play with their national security and fool everyone into thinking that use the fear of people doing bad things, like how they created over CNN after November 20th, where no news anchor or guest was able to smile on live TV for days after November 20th. Turn on CNN, check for November 27th. Look at Governor Josh Green's face. Look at his face. He's there to give narration on vaccine confusion in the country at the time. What is he giving narration on? My dad's Famer sisters creating mass panic and chaos. He's not talking about the vaccine confusion when he says, we have to get to the bottom of this. We have to get to the bottom of this. We need to remove the confusion from this. We have to remove the confusion from this. That was literally the state that my dad, the greedy Famer, and his Famer sisters had put the entire country's news media and government into, just to make sure my brain savant could not get freed out of extreme envy. Okay, the government's not gonna they weren't born yesterday. Okay, they're not going to let this play out. They're not going to let someone use their national security for their personal agenda of locking up my brain savant so that my mother can't get the money they cannot get. Only because artificial intelligence labeled it as such, and law enforcement who have done literally nothing except for run money fraud with Uncle Joey's in-laws since 2001, and sex schemes with Uncle Joey's in-laws since 2001, and money fraud later on have did absolutely nothing that they were supposed to be doing in terms of running an investigation or prosecution. And literally as soon as they found out about my brain savant, they went and told everyone about it, only to try to get envy from them, because they knew that people in the family would get extremely envious and want my brain savant locked up at any cost. They're not going to watch someone become a millionaire or billionaire when their own kids they're beating to get a six-figure salary and they're not even able to do that. So yeah, it's not even it's unarguable that's what the response was going to be. They were going to fabricate, and that's exactly what Ibrahim's Famer's envious mother did. And this was his fourth time lying, and I told the courts this is his fourth time lying. And obviously he's lying again. And he just got caught lying again. These people are liars, framers, and fabricators, extremely envious, okay? So basically today's thing is, right now I gotta make a journal on religion and how this thing about religion, but before we get to that, I have to talk about Kelly from law enforcement, because this is just too much, okay? All day and night long, all she does is trying to, she touches my penis with these tools. I bet you they took billions of dollars to make these tools, and it's being used to stroke my penis, giving the feeling that something's inside my rectum, someone's touching my rectum. This is not what these tools are made for. And this job is not a job where you go and try to find a husband for yourself, okay? That's just not how it works. When I get my brain savant freed, I'll find a wife for myself, I'll get married, and I'll be totally fine. This private touching thing has to stop. And second of all, the other thing I have to say is the last American Express ad that I showed in the last video was at around 1:13 p.m. This commercial is the exact same commercial, but since she sent it to me after 1:13 p.m., I have to show it now. Okay, this is not the same one that I showed in the last video. That one was at 1:13 p.m. This one is at 4:20 p.m. Okay, and right now it is 7:17 p.m. Okay, so yeah. So this is 4:20 p.m. Okay, July 24th. That is today. American Express, same commercial. Okay, let me show it to you. 4:20 p.m., same commercial. It is the Arc de Triomphe in France. It's in Paris, France. Okay. And it's the American Express commercial. She's basically saying, do you want to go to Paris with me? We're using your credit card. Like, do I look like an idiot to you? Why would I do that? Such a random thing to do. I don't use credit cards. 4:21 p.m. I'm sick and tired of this. This has to stop. The last time I showed it, it was at 1:13 p.m. She's not James Bond. I'm telling you, there's nothing to take out of me. And they had a brain scanner on my brain for years. And she only does this when a Brain Savant test result comes out. And I already knew she was going to do this 6 days ago. I made a video letting everyone know Kelly is about to go crazy. And she has gone crazy because they found out with the overanalyzing of the Brain Savant test from June 24th that not only are my powers superhuman to begin with when air drugging is taken away, but that when these ears are unlocked, like how they were on April 22nd, all the way on the back of my head, it grows substantially more powerful. So it's already hundreds of times more powerful with the ears being locked, and it goes thousands of times more powerful when the ears are unlocked. And then on top of that, it increases in power over time as well. Yeah, they locked it up July 1st, 2023, and afterwards, it's just like, yeah. After they did that due to being envious, a bunch of envious framers that they thought that my powers would not increase. Well, surprise, surprise, November 14th, guess what they found out? My powers increased. So yeah, so same American Express commercial. Okay, 6:21 p.m. Okay, this one, she's like, it's a French ad. It all has to do with French and France. She has an obsession with France. It's not able to focus. Hold on. Okay, and yeah, this has to stop. I do not want this. Any gold diggers, like seriously, I do not want it. Okay, and then this next one, this one is from Desperate Housewives. All right, I used to watch this as a family. Me and my family used to watch it. Like me, my mother, and my sister used to watch Desperate Housewives. This is the episode where the woman, she murders everyone who is a cheating husband, basically. She basically murders everyone who is a cheating husband in this episode. So it says the best episode ever, and Desperate Housewives, best episode, bang. Like, she murders everyone who is a cheating husband, basically saying that I'm a cheating husband. I don't know who this Kelly person is. I only saw her like one time. I didn't go the next time she tried to get me to go to Food Line, which she tried to get me to go on July 2nd. I didn't go because I didn't want to go. I really don't care if you have braids now, Kelly. Like, I really don't care. And this one is like 6:28 p.m. today, and it's for like straighten hair, where she's trying to say that my hair is really straight now. I couldn't care less. Like, she's trying to say that she could have straight hair. That's amazing. Congratulations. I couldn't care less. Like, seriously. But today's video is basically going to be about religion. The thing that people have to understand is that people should be judged by what they do and not what they say. Because if their motives are invalid, then then their behaviors are going to be basically illegal, and we have to look at their behaviors and what they do, their acts, to figure out what their motives are, not their words. If their motives are invalid, then their words are going to be deceptive. They're going to be lying over and over again, which is what we see right now. Yeah, so basically we have to start with people's motives, and the way we find out about their motives is through their behavior, what they're doing, and their words, which are all going to be deceptive, as in lies. So basically, my dad, the greedy framer, from day one has been trying to get me to not marry, but trying to get me to give him illegal assurance of money. He knew that he didn't deserve a single penny. We used to talk once every 5 years, and even then we never got along. So he got the message pretty quickly in 2025, due to which he started blackmailing, harassing me, thinking that I would be pressured into giving him illegal assurance of money. Yeah. So basically, yeah. So this is what he had been doing. Afterwards, he would even try to get me to commit incest with his sisters when he was caught with a second lie, mainly for the greedy framer. And on February 11th at 3:17 a.m., even Ibrahim's ugly old mother, like he tried to send me her picture at 3:56 a.m. on February 11th. He had gone crazy over money. Then he tries it again. March 7th sends me three times the same porn star named Sunny Leone's picture. Three times on March 7th, 2026, despite him being told on February 11th at 3:17 a.m. that this is an open advertisement for incest, and yet he still sends it three times on March 7th. Then he goes even a step further. He forgets he has a 5 foot long beard or that his sisters dress up like nuns. He sends me a sexually explicit picture of a woman just resembling his sister Afrin on March 10th. Very disgusting individual. And then every single day afterwards as well, psychiatric help is what he needs. And so basically, yeah, his actions show otherwise, that he's not helping the court get to the truth. He lied every single time he was allowed in court, every single time. He even got his kids to lie for him in court. And then his kids got caught lying as well. He left nothing to chance. He wanted to make sure that my brain savant was locked up at any cost whatsoever. Then after that, this psychotic individual had his framer sisters lie all day and night long, but his framer sisters had the same thing. It's so tiring talking about it. Like, his framer sisters tried the exact same thing. It's like the marriage thing, you know, like his sisters are always just like, will you marry my daughter? And I got it today too. She sent me the same blackmail prenup. It's basically a Ponzi scheme where I sign a prenup agreement for her ugly looking daughters that I have no interest in marrying. She knows I have no interest in marrying her. I told her June 16th, like, I have no interest in marrying your ugly looking daughters. Like, please just leave me alone, leave me at peace. If you want to narrate against me, you could do that, but don't try to blackmail me to force me to marry your daughter every single day. Even today, okay, today is July 24th. Even today, she sent me a blackmail for marrying her daughter, like the prenup agreement. It's basically a Ponzi scheme. You sign this paper for a prenup agreement, and then I'm gonna annoy you for the rest of your life. It's really annoying. You know, I already have to like deal with their lies all day, which have been like literally every single statement they made against me. It was a complete total lie. On top of that, it's really tiring, like receiving blackmails all day and night long. Like, where's law enforcement? Like, seriously, the courts need to ask law enforcement, like, your job is not sending people blackmails for other people. That's not what your job is. And yet law enforcement right now is doing that. They send these blackmails through law enforcement on my YouTube for their daughters, like every single day, including today. And it's very tiring and it's really annoying. Like, every single day I receive this blackmail, and it's literally like sucked out the energy from me. It's so annoying, like especially the ones where there's money in there. It is so irritating. Like, I cannot tell you how irritating that is. Like, a person like raised in poverty suddenly gets a brain savant, and as soon as he gets a brain savant, like, I haven't even used it yet. I have not even used it yet. These people knew about it before I even even told anyone about it. Like, Miss Deb is a prime example. She found out June 2023. Who did I tell by June 2023? Not one person. Didn't even whisper it into anyone's ears till August 25th, 2023. So basically, law enforcement used a brain scanner to go around telling everyone about it. And like, literally, it's the most irritating feeling in the world, receiving blackmail, price tags, money. Like, the courts have to tell law enforcement, like, please stop sending it to him. He's not going to pay any money, and it's illegal to send people blackmails. I am not going to pay anyone any money, not one red cent, and they're sending me blackmails in like the millions of dollars. It's not going to happen. I'm not going to do it. I get the point. They want money. Just stop it. The courts have to tell law enforcement their job is not sending people blackmails for money, okay? Nor is their job sending people blackmails to sign prenup agreements for other people's daughters, okay? Today's the last day. I need the courts to please tell Farah the greedy framer, not her. Please tell law enforcement I get the point. She wants me to marry her daughter or sign a prenup for her. I'm not doing it. I get it. Today's July 24th. She sent it to me at least 40 times since July 6th when I labeled it a prenup marriage scam. No more. I get it. She wants me to sign a prenup for her daughter. I get the point, okay? And my dad, the greedy framer, no more of the euros, okay? Millions of euros that he sends me, no more. I don't want to receive one more of those. Okay, I've had enough. I get the point. He wants money in the millions of euros. I get it. I won't give it. I won't sign this prenup agreement, and the courts have to let law enforcement know that law enforcement's job is not sending people blackmail for other people, okay? I've had enough of this, okay? I'm not doing this. I'm not going to sign anyone's prenup, and I'm not going to give anyone a single penny. If they want to go to the news media, be my guest. Tell them that November 20th was real. I couldn't care less. I'm not running for office, okay? The woman who dresses up like a nun, Farah the Greedy Framer, look at what she sends me for her daughter. Is this something that someone sends for their daughter? Like, seriously, is this really something you're supposed to be sending for your daughter? And her daughter, by the way, is really ugly. I'm not interested in her daughter at all. Look at what the girl in the gray is wearing up top. And the girl in the blue, look at what she's wearing on the bottom. Like, is this seriously something that someone sends for their own daughter? Incredibly disgusting and like weird, and like it's just perverted, incredibly corrupt. It's like the most corrupt trial in the world. One person sending me blackmail price tags for millions of euros, the other sending me sexually explicit pictures of women that are resembling her daughters. You know, the third, Afreen, is sending me sexually explicit pictures of women resembling her, and you know, and then like right now we have Ibrahim sending me pictures, thankfully only pictures, of girls resembling his sister on July 18. It's like the most corrupt trial in the world. And these people who are incredibly corrupt, and even Miss Deb, by the way, they are basically, and it's like so tiring receiving blackmails all day, night long. I received one today for the Greedy Framer's daughter. Again today, the prenup scam, and it's so tiring, it's annoying, it's irritating. The most irritating feeling in the world is receiving blackmail price tags in the millions of euros, which I receive all day and night long. I cannot take pictures of them enough. Yeah, from my dad, the Greedy Framer, like, please, I'm begging the courts, tell law enforcement it's not their job to be sending people blackmails, okay? I've had enough. I understand he wants millions of euros. She wants her daughter married. No, she wants her daughter to sign she wants me to sign a prenup for her daughter. It's been labeled as such. After July 6th, I made a video on it. She knows about that. It's a Ponzi scheme. And she sent me 40 of her prenup marriage scam blackmail Ponzi schemes since July 6th. Okay, I labeled it as such on July 6th. I made a video on it, and she still sent me 40 of those. I understand she wants me to sign an agreement with whatever amount she's going to put on there for her ugly looking abnormal daughters, and she's going to harass me for the rest of my life. I get it. I've already received 40 of them. I get the point. I need the courts to please tell law enforcement it's not their job to be sending people blackmails. I get the point. I do not want any more. I've received 40 since July 6th. I've had enough. Okay, so going back to the topic, basically, the thing about the religion thing is, first of all, we have to look at who's talking, okay? Basically, if it's Miss Deb or Farah the Greedy Framer, you have to understand the fact that no one wants their daughter married to a person who is going to be a bad person in the future, or whom they think is going to be a bad person in the future. Farah, in the last month, since June 16, has sent me more than 50 forced blackmailed things for marriage for her daughters, like including sexually explicit pictures of girls resembling her daughters, like everything she could do to try to force me, seduce me, do everything she could to me to try to. All I want to ask the courts is, what are the chances that someone who thinks that another person is going to be a bad person or do something bad should be marrying their daughters? 1% chance. You think someone's is a bad person in the future? Would you get them to marry your daughter? I don't think so. Except for that, we also have brain scanner evidence for years and years of me meeting with every single person of every race, religion, ethnicity, whether they be Christian people, Jewish people, Orthodox Jewish people at my work with long beards, and I would love them all the same. Except for that, my mother's never been heard uttering one word considered bad her entire life. Other than that, she made a promise to law enforcement. She kept it. The moment I gained the slightest bit of mental maturity, I was never seen in any settings where anything remotely considered bad could have been said around me ever again. Assad, Assad's parents should have learned something from my mother, because Assad was present in the wedding incident. He was committing the crime. He was with the criminals the entire wedding instead of even talking to anyone else. And Assad's parents should have learned some lessons from my mother, and they should have kept their son, from committing these crimes that he did commit. Other crimes that he knew about, that Bushra Akhtar was about to tell me in 2019, he knew about it, and he never did anything about it. He never reported it. He never did a thing about it. He couldn't care less. He was supposed to report it as an adult for everything that he knew about. He could not care less. And as soon as he finds out about my brain savant, he wants me scammed for things that I have nothing to do with, basically. And he's going to, claim that it's my fault as a child, that someone said something bad around me as a child, that I should have reported it. Well, what about the crimes you were committing? You ever think about reporting things that you did yourself? Or the things that you knew about that Bushra Akhtar was about to tell me in 2019? Did you ever think about reporting those as an adult? Children cannot report anything, okay? Even if someone did say anything remotely considered bad around me, children cannot report it, but adults can. And the other thing that has to be remembered is the fact that if anyone did say anything even remotely considered bad around me as a child, it has to be understood that my mother was not there. My mother was never there. She had already made a deal with law enforcement where she told law enforcement that I will not be there. And the other thing I can tell you that my mother told law enforcement was that she has never uttered one word considered bad her entire life. Two things my mother said, both found to be complete and total truth. Absolute facts. That my mother was never seen in the setting where anything remotely considered bad was said around me as a child, clearly proving that she was telling the truth about her being at work either at fast food restaurants in the afternoon or in factories at night, and that she was telling the truth with two law enforcement when she said it when I was an 11-year-old child. The other thing that has to be remembered is the fact that my mother had already spoken with law enforcement, and she made a promise that I would remove my child from every setting where anything remotely considered bad could be said around him the moment he gains the slightest bit of mental maturity. When was that? My mother talked about it on the night of February 15th at 8:30 p.m. without me trying to push her to say one thing or another. She said it clear out that I could not leave you at home alone when you were a child, and had not gained the slightest bit of mental maturity, despite some people doing so only because I was scared you might run out the door when I go to work. Plain and simple. That's exactly what happened. That's what the facts and evidences show. How do we know this? My mother was never present in any setting where anything remotely considered bad was ever said around me. And the other thing is, if it was so terrible, anything that anyone could have said around me, you have to remember the fact that from the moment I gained the slightest bit of mental maturity as a child, all I've done is work hard with my mother. Whereas these adults like Assad or Bushra Akhtar have been present in crime scenes. They've known about everything. They were supposed to report whatever Bushra Akhtar was about to tell me in 2019. They never did. They couldn't care less about anything. They never cared about anything until the moment they found out about my brain savant. And now they want it enviously locked up only due to the fact that they do not want to, they want to make sure that no one gets any of the money. Like, they obviously don't want anyone from the family becoming extremely rich, which is what artificial intelligence has basically predicted about my brain savant. They're not going to watch me become extremely rich when they're beating their kids to get a six-figure salary. So it's plain and simple that artificial intelligence pretty much told them, and truthfully so, that I will become I have the highest chances of becoming a billionaire on this planet than any other person on this planet. How is that so? I could do more than 1,000 pages of something extremely dry like Aaron Ball's medicinal chemistry from cover to cover in 1 day's time period, which means that in 30 days time period, that's more than 30,000 pages. And after that, I also have innovation, which means that what people like Manoj Bhargava invented once in a lifetime with the 5-hour energy drink, I could do that every 30 days. And if you want to sample, I could give it to you in 30 minutes. I could show you exactly what I mean in 30 minutes time. With law enforcement news, I'm truthful, due to which they will not give me my 30-minute brain savant test. The fact of the matter is, right now, June 24th had been overanalyzed, due to which now we finally knew that not only were my powers hundreds of times more powerful than normal human beings, but that if my ears are unlocked like how they're locked right now, and they were unlocked on April 22nd, 22nd, all the way on the back of my head on April 22nd, 2025, that it makes my powers thousands times more powerful than normal human beings. This is exactly what law enforcement found out, due to which they totally forgot that they had been running sex schemes and money fraud since 2001. They left everything aside, and what they ended up doing was coming after me very enviously and very aggressively to try to frame me for something so that they could literally just murder me over it. They weren't able to do so, but their gameplay has been literally the same since the start. Wedding incident, their own BFFs like us had committed the crime, and they wanted me framed for it. Well, they wanted me framed for it, but they couldn't narrate in the trial while running their sex scenes with Uncle Joey's in-laws and money fraud along with it. So basically, yeah, that same gameplay that they use for the wedding incident, where they would take a crime that their own BFFs committed, like Assad, and then they would try to frame me for it and try to put my name in there, despite them running sex schemes and money fraud with these people like Assad and Uncle Joey and all their other BFFs. Their gameplay has been the same. Whether they weren't allowed to narrate after 2023, they were given two options: either you run your sex and money fraud with everyone that you're pointing at, like Uncle Joey, or you narrate in the trial. You can't do both. You can't claim that it's Hassan's fault that Uncle Joey said something bad around him when he was a child, but that he was removed when he was a child by his mother, and you're still there since 2001 running sex schemes with Uncle Joey and his in-laws. So you can't narrate in this trial and do both. You got to pick one: either narrate in the trial or run your sex and money fraud. Law enforcement said, we're still going to narrate and we're still going to run our sex and money fraud. This is how we're going to do it. Instead of us narrating, we'll get someone else to narrate. And they got my dad, the greedy framer, and his framer sisters to narrate. But the gameplay was exactly the same as the wedding crime. They would take one of the crimes or something that their own BFFs did, like Assad or Uncle Joey or someone else that they were running money fraud or sex schemes with, and then they would put my name in there. Same exact thing as 2023 with the wedding incident. They did it in November 20th. I can guarantee you that's what they did on November 20th. Despite the crime and setting not even existing, that's exactly what they had to do. Take something that they said their own BFFs did, like Assad, Uncle Joey, or someone else that they're running their sex schemes or money fraud with, put my name in there, and then say that Hassan did it, even though for November 20th, everything was fabricated. Early January, same thing. Early April 2026, same thing. And right now with the fourth lie that was just made, same exact thing. Something that law enforcement's own BFFs did, like the wedding crime that Assad or Uncle Joey did, and then put my name in there and take their own BFFs out of there. That's exactly what they did in the wedding crime for 2023. That's exactly what they did on November 20th. Even though the crime and setting didn't even exist over November 20th, I can guarantee you that the person that they claim that initially committed the crime would have been their own BFFs that they're running their sex scheme with, money fraud with, or both with. And same exact thing that they did on November 20th, same thing with the wedding crime in 2023, same thing with early January 2026, same thing with early April 2026, and same thing right now for the fourth lie. Actually, it's actually the fifth lie if you count the wedding incident from 2023. Literally the fifth lie, fifth false testimonies, as in they get 5 chances and they make a whole bunch of lies in there. So basically, yeah, you have to understand the fact that these people, the people that would be claiming the thing about the religion, are the criminals. Bushra Akhtar is a criminal. She never reported what she was telling me in 2019. She couldn't care less. She is trying to say that it's my fault as a child for something that someone might have said around me as a child, would be the same as her saying that it's my fault for me hearing about what she was about to tell me in 2019. And she would just be like, Hassan was about to hear what I was about to say in 2019. It's all his fault. You should put him in prison, lock up his brain savant, make sure his brain savant never gets freed. He almost heard what I was about to say in 2019. That makes no sense, right? I mean, I almost heard what you were about to say in 2019. What were you about to say in 2019? What is the crime that you knew about? Why did you not report it? Why am I supposed to be blamed for it? It's the exact same thing. Her saying that it's my fault that one of her own BFFs or people that she knows might have said something bad around me as a child, and that I should be blamed for it as a child, whereas she shouldn't be as an adult, is the exact same thing as if Bushra Akhtar now claims that Hassan almost heard what I was about to say in 2019, which means that it's all Hassan's fault that he almost heard it. It's his fault that that happened. If you should blame him and lock up his brain savant, which makes no sense, but that's basically what she's trying to argue. Or Assad trying to argue that I should be blamed for something that someone might have said around me as a child, but that he shouldn't be blamed for a wedding crime that he himself committed with his own hands, and then spent the entire wedding talking about with the other people in that wedding that could have committed that crime. It's basic human psychology and criminal psychology that when criminals commit crimes, they spend the entire time with other criminals and they take the weight off their chest for the remaining time period, and they spend it with those criminals who commit the crimes. That's exactly, I can guarantee you, what happened with Assad at the wedding incident. He was spending the entire wedding with the people who committed the crimes for the wedding incident and not with anyone else in that wedding. That is what criminals do. How do we know this? Because before November 20th, 2025, Ibrahim, the greedy farmer, a sex-addicted drug-addicted sex addict's envious mother, was asked for first things first, do you have something against Hassan? Because if you have something, we have to use that. We're going to use that. We're going to exaggerate and fabricate. She said no. Then they asked her, like, are you sure? We need that. We need that thing from you. We need it because that's what we're going to use. Or fabricating something, it could get caught. So if we have something, we might as well use that. Why was the government informant asking her this? Mainly due to the fact that the government wanted to know if they really had something against me or not. And right now it was the fourth lie, and I knew for a fact they were lying again, because it's a known fact. Governments weren't born yesterday. They know how to do their job. Once they get involved, when it's a matter of national security, they will dig everything out, and that's what they did. And they found out that these people had absolutely nothing on me, and they were keep on trying to enviously lock up my brain savant, followed by greedily blackmailing me for millions of dollars or trying to force me to marry their daughter. Basically not forceful marriage, mainly a Ponzi scheme. A prenup Ponzi scheme is all it was. So basically, yeah. Same thing with Ibrahim's envious mother. She confessed to the government informant every single thing, letting the government informant know that she had nothing on me, but she confessed to the government informant all the following lies that she was going to make on me. This is basic human psychology. It's basic criminal psychology. When two people of the same kind of criminals get together, they take the weight off their chest to the other person. Exactly why I can guarantee you that Assad, at that wedding that I could not have gone to, and I never watched any weddings or anything to do with any weddings, and law enforcement is witness to this fact that I never did. I can guarantee the courts that Assad spent the entire wedding taking the weight off his chest to the other people that committed the crime, because this is what criminals do. After they commit crimes, like how Ibrahim's envious mother was doing, they take the weight off their chest and they tell the other criminals exactly what they did, and they get help in taking the weight off their chest. Exactly why I can guarantee everyone in the court that Ibrahim's envious mother took the weight off her own chest and told the government informant the subsequent lies that she had planned against me as well, only due to extreme envy that this poor kid is about to become extremely rich, as in like billionaire rich, according to artificial intelligence, and due to his brain savant. That was the only thing that the fight was all about. Yeah. So basically, the thing that I had to say about religion is just the fact that you cannot say that I would do something bad because someone else of my religion did it. Assad cannot say it, since Assad committed crimes like the wedding incident crime. Assad also knew about what Bushra Akhtar was about to tell me in 2019, and these people never did a thing about it, and they cannot claim that I would do something bad due to someone of my religion doing it, despite looking at the fact that I have no history of any crimes, and Assad does. Not only does Assad have a history of committing the crime like the wedding crime, which is a heinous crime. I'll tell you exactly how I know, but it was a heinous crime, and except for that, Assad also knew about other crimes like what Bushra Akhtar was about to tell me in 2019, and yet Assad did absolutely nothing about it. Poverty was a blessing in disguise for me my entire life. My mother worked hard at at fast food restaurants when I was a child, when I gained the slightest bit of mental maturity as a child, and no one told us of any secrets or things that happened at any weddings or anything like that. No one does that for fast food workers. They're not going to invite them over and tell them things that happen at weddings. We didn't even know. Poverty was a blessing in disguise for me, and it wasn't after I had a brain savant in the year 2023 when they tried to frame me for the wedding incident. And I remember they were trying to frame me for the wedding incident in 2023, and I knew they were only doing this because of my brain savant. And so they literally, like, they had used so much mental torture drugs on me. I literally could not get out of bed all day long due to them wanting to frame me for this wedding incident. And if anyone mentioned any weddings, they would just flash me with severe mental torture drugs. And I remember while going on YouTube, and I saw a video of President Putin and Kim Jong-un meeting at that time, and Kim Jong-un like literally comes out like he's like in shock, and President Putin like he's just looking down like, yeah, they got the kid pretty bad, they got the kid pretty, and he's like touching his lips like that. And I saw that video on YouTube. I turned it off and I put my phone down because I was under so much stress, and they just thought that the kid's dead, which is not what happened. I'm right here and I'm totally fine. Yeah, it was like a sci-fi movie, and they were all following it because I guess it seemed really interesting. A person with an extremely rare brain savant, law enforcement forgets the fact that all they've done is run sex schemes and money fraud since 2001, and now they're suddenly obsessed with them. And so, yeah, so basically I put the phone down and I just kind of thought to myself, only I know for a fact that I was, poverty was a blessing in disguise for me, and that is the moment I realized it, because my mother never had the money to take me to any weddings, and no one's gonna invite someone who works at like a fast food restaurant over to their house and tell them stories about things that happen at weddings. And I put the phone down and I was like, I'm not the one who's dead, law enforcement is, because now I know there was a big crime that occurred at a wedding that law enforcement obviously covered over. How do I know this? The entire year of 2023 they were running sex schemes for Uncle Joey like as if he was a sitting governor, providing him with top-notch intelligence and running their money fraud that they would not stop running at any cost. And the money fraud went to the person who fabricated the group chat false testimony against me, and the person who was caught fabricating the false testimonies with Adam G and Maruk on July 11th, only a few days ago. So basically, I saw Kim Jong-un, President Putin. I was like, they looked like, oh, the sci-fi movie is over, the kid's dead. And I just put the phone down like, the kid's not dead, law enforcement's dead. Because now I know the crime that they committed was heinous and was a terrible crime, and I know exactly the people who committed them. So I put the phone down. I was like, the kid's not dead. It's law enforcement that's dead, because now I know about a crime that they committed. So basically, yeah, that is what happened. And I know for a fact, I could guarantee the court that Assad was definitely involved in the crime. He was present in the crime, he was involved in the crime, and not only that, he would be speaking with the people who committed the crime with him throughout the entire wedding instead of even talking to anyone else, mainly because that's how human psychology and criminal psychology works. Like, well, after you commit a crime, you want to be with the other criminals, and then you want to put your weight off your chest over to them. And I can guarantee that's what happened with us. Despite me never watching any wedding videos my entire life, I could guarantee it. I wouldn't be at that wedding, but I can guarantee it. But yeah, that's what always happens, and that's exactly why I know that envious mother of Ibrahim's basically transferred off all her guilt over to the government informant, told him about all the lies she had planned out against me as well. So basically, what I'm trying to say is, you can't blame me for religion. If these people are more guilty than I am, people like Bushra Akhtar and Assad, or yeah. And then the other reason you cannot blame me for religion is due to the fact that the people blaming me are clearly only blaming me due to envy of me not marrying their sister. I mean, yeah, not marrying their sister like Ibrahim, the greedy framer, drug addicted sex addict, or not marrying their daughter like Farah, the greedy framer. And I can show you sexually explicit pictures of girls that she sent resembling her daughter. Incredible. And today's July 24th. She sent me an ad for her daughter again today, which I need the courts to tell law enforcement to stop sending it to me. I get the point. She wants me to sign a prenup, blackmail, and she wants to get money out of me. We've already labeled it as such on July 6th, and she's still sending it. And yeah, or Miss Deb asking me to marry her daughter while claiming that I'm a nuisance to society, or my brain savant should get locked up because other people of my religion did bad things. Well, if I have any chance of doing bad things, then where's the evidence from the brain scanner being attached to my brain throughout the entire time? For years and years, me meeting with people that were Christians, Jewish people that were either Orthodox Jewish with long beards, and all kinds of people, every single person with utmost love and respect, never looking down on anyone. My mother, throughout my entire life, never uttering one word considered bad in the slightest bit. And yet, without any evidence of me ever even thinking about harming anyone due to their religion, they're claiming all these things about me, and the people that are claiming it are people like Miss Deb, who are wanting me to marry their daughter, supposedly, which she's not. It's a Ponzi scheme. Her daughter's already married. Fire the Greedy Framer wants me to marry two of her daughters, but she doesn't. It's a Ponzi scheme. She knows I hate them, and her daughters are really ugly. Ibrahim wants me to marry his sister. She's too young for me, and she's really ugly. I'm not gonna marry her. These people know I'm not gonna marry their relatives, and it's a basic fact that no one wants person that they think is going to be a bad person in the future, or even someone who they think is aggressive, to be marrying their daughter. That's insane. Who would want that? I would certainly not. I don't care how much money that person has. Don't come near my daughter if you're aggressive. Obviously not. These people know what they're doing. They're Ponzi schemers, and they're framers, and they're just basically trying to get me to sign prenups.